Hi there, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm going to do a review of the new Criterion release of David Fincher's film The Game. So we just got this in the mail in advance, watched it, gone through some of the features, and this is what we think. So firstly I'll tell you a little bit about The Game. It sort of slotted in Fincher's career between Seven and Fight Club, and it's about this wealthy, sort of emotional recluse banker called Nicholas Van Orton, played by Michael Douglas, and he receives a gift from his brother, played by Sean Penn, on his birthday, which is a voucher for a game that if he agrees to play it will change his life. This sort of begins this unraveling, sort of down the rabbit hole style story, sort of a crazy multi-layered adventure, kind of a noirish descent into a man's personal hell. It's a really underrated film in his oeuvre. The main problem a lot of people had with it is the ending, which I used to think was a little bit too far-fetched for the great build-up. I'm not going to tell you what the ending was, but after seeing Illusionist or Mindbender, Darren Brown's specials that he's done on how they have engineered people to do things and react in certain ways, it doesn't seem very far-fetched. They've done things to people which are very similar to what was done here in The Game. It no longer seems too over the top or too ridiculous at the end. It just seems quite doable. So the whole film really has come together as a whole for me, and this latest viewing of it was probably my favourite viewing since seeing it in the theatre. Now the Blu-ray itself is a beautiful transfer. It's overseen by David Fincher and the director of photography, and it looks much better than the DVD. The DVD was very murky because the film was quite dark itself. So all the nighttime scenes look crisp. I don't see any sort of problems when I was watching it with any kind of banding or macro blocking or any kind of digital noise, and it just looks the way it should. A lot of detail. There's a nice thin layer of grain over the image, so I don't see any evidence of DNR. This is a really good transfer. Now, another thing I should mention is the audio has the original 5.1 theatrical audio, but it also has a newly created 5.1 for home theatres. I flicked between the two, and I've read some reviews where they've said that there was some notable differences. I didn't really pick up too much. I'd probably have to watch some of the same scenes, certain scenes over, with playing one and then play the other audio to notice any large differences. But they were both very competent, mostly front speaker action, but enough atmosphere coming out of the back to make it a really good experience. Now, one thing I will say about the menu, to get to these audios, these different 5.1s, is you go into the audio menu on the menu, and it's automatically set to the 5.1 theatrical, and you don't seem to be able to click over to the other 5.1. It just won't. You go up and down, and it just won't go to that option. But not too fair, because once you start the film you can just use the audio button on your remote and flick to the other 5.1 back and forth. It's so you're still able to get it. It's just you can't set it from the menu for some reason. It may be just an issue with the encoding. We'll talk about the special features that it comes with. So we'll just read off the back here. It's a newly restored digital transfer, as I said, supervised by Fincher and the director of photography, Harris Savidis. Alternate 5.1 surround mix for a home theatre, as I just mentioned, which was supervised by the sound designer Ren Kleiss. And audio commentary by David Fincher, Harris Savidis, actor Michael Douglas, screenwriters Joe Brancato and Michael Ferris, and digital animation supervisor Richard Dr. Bailey. and production designer Jeff Beecroft and visual effects supervisor Kevin Haug. It's an intercut one. It's a pretty strong commentary though, very informative, lots of detail, lots of information. There's an hour's worth of exclusive behind the scenes footage, and film to storyboard comparisons for 4 of the film's major set pieces with commentary. There's the alternate ending. Alternate ending is it's pretty mild. It's not too exciting. And the trailer and a teaser with commentary, plus a booklet featuring an essay by film critic David Sterrett. I'll show you the booklet now. So it's just a classic Criterion, nicely typeset, nicely some information and photos, and quite extensive. Criterion always do a good job with their booklets. Here's the disc itself. Underneath, a key. For those who've seen it will know the significance of keys throughout. There's back cover and front cover. Highly recommend it. It's just come out yesterday in the States, and it is Region A locked, so if you're outside of the Region A zonings of America, etc., you'll have to play it on a region free player such as the one I have. There's a few more good Criterions coming out later this year that I'll be getting and hopefully reviewing. I'll be In the Mood for Love is coming out next month, and at the end of the year we should see Plain Soleil, also known as Purple Noon. I recommend the game, Criterion. Much better than any release, including the UK Blu-ray, the Australasian Blu-ray, which were just pretty poor efforts. This is the one to get.